Emmanuel Etabo is living his dream. He wanted to become a nurse since high school. His passion was triggered by a tragedy in his village.
I went back home for the routine holidays, and it was a bad experience to encounter cholera outbreak in my village. During that outbreak, I lost my grandmother. I lost also my close friends.
Turkana County in the arid north is one of the least developed in the country. A majority of the residents are nomadic pastoralists. Many of them are poor. So when Etabo received his invitation to join the Kenya Medical Training College in Thika, more than 600 kilometers away from home, his family could not raise money for his fees. It took his entire village to fundraise, and he got just enough money to pay for his first-year tuition fees.
I was not able even to raise a soap to wash my clothes. My learning materials like pens and books were challenged to raise, so I had to borrow from friends.
The future looked bleak. Then he heard that the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, had a scholarship scheme for students from arid areas. The care and treatment programs the agency supported were struggling to find qualified healthcare workers.
And so we said the best way is to look at how do we generate these numbers. One of the ways was to support the students who are already in college to complete, because we realized the dropout rate was very high. Then we had some of the people in those areas that could not go to college because of poverty levels being high, and they could not be able to afford to pay. So we came up with a scholarship mechanism where we were giving students the scholarships, and they could be bonded. Actually, they were being bonded, and these were mainly in the northern arid regions of the country.
Etabo was among the first beneficiaries. But it was quickly noted that the scholarships weren't sustainable. With an average of 15 healthcare workers for every 10,000 Kenyans, nearly two-thirds the rate recommended by the World Health Organization, bridging that gap was going to be an expensive investment. So another idea was born, the Afya Elimu Fund, a revolving loan scheme targeting mid-level colleges.
90% of healthcare is actually provided by mid-level healthcare workers. It is your clinical officer, it is your nurse that provides a big chunk, over 90% of the medical care.
The Afya Elimu Fund has brought relief to many needy students like William Mwabaya. The second-year nursing student at the Kenya Medical Training College in Kilifi would have dropped out of college by now were it not for the loan.
I had nothing. That's when I took initiative to talk to some of my lecturers, the ones which were close to me. I was explaining to them if I could be given another chance to go and work for some time, then come back. That was deferment. That is the option we were given. That is when they told me about the loans.
There are many students like him at the college.
I normally get letters from the students saying they want to defer the studies because they can't continue because of lack of fees. So when this help loan came, the letters that were coming here for deferment has drastically reduced.
The Higher Education Loans Board has been managing a student loan program for university students for decades. The board was the perfect partner to manage the Afya Elimu Fund. AEF is in its fourth year, but already the loan repayment rate is impressive.
The employability rate of an ad within the first month of graduation is 98%. The employability rate of a graduate within the first year of graduation is about 50%. But what we have seen with these guys, particularly in this program of AEF, is that they have started repaying even before their moratorium period is actually over.
At inception, the Afya Elimu Fund's target was a pot of 1.5 billion shillings by 2017. So far, partners have raised a third of that amount. There is plenty of room for more.
The biggest challenge that I see for us as Funzo Kenya right now is to be able to realize that, get enough money so that our pot is big enough that if a student joins Afya Elimu today and gets money through the Afya Elimu mechanism, they can, and they're in their first year, they can be rest assured that next year there'll be money for them to reapply, and the year after.
Over time, more and more partners have joined the AEF family, and the doors are still open.
Our motto as the Family Good Foundation is transforming families. We know that healthcare takes such a lot of money out of Kenyan families' pockets. We also invest in education. So between the two, the fact that we have education and healthcare as our corner pillars, then that means that being in AEF actually then meets those two needs for us. We know that we are providing healthcare professionals. We know we are also educating Kenya. So for us, it's a win-win.
We believe that the front line makes the bottom line. And this is what motivates every private institution in investing in the human resources. We are fully aware that the customer experience and the patient experience are provided by frontline health workers. They have to meet the security, the receptionist, then they meet the nurse before they see the doctor.
There is nothing like the gift of education. You know, if you have money, somebody can steal it from you, but nobody can steal your education away from you. It stays with you. And the more people they educate, the less poverty we'll have more educated people, because really education lights the path to development.
Homa Bay was one of the first counties to support the fund, with a quarter of its people living with HIV, the highest prevalence rate in the country. Homa Bay understands well how devastating health workers' shortage can be. So the county has taken a proactive approach to grow its pool of medics.
The Elimu Afya would boost us because it is going to develop the local staff who we don't fear will move away, run to some other places. So that is one. The second one, the post-basic training, because we need a number of people to go for post-basic training in the various lines of specialties, which we are trying to develop in our county referral hospital and in other facilities. So this is really a good thing, and we would really cooperate with them.
One of the AEF beneficiaries in the county is Emelda Omondi. She has lived through the health challenges of her home county, having lost her father to AIDS. From time to time, she has been the sole caretaker of her ailing mother. Her experience has stirred up a passion for her pharmacy course. She aims to, one day, join researchers trying to find a cure for AIDS.
So I told her, just don't give up. Maybe I'm just going to work hard. I'm going to work or to study drugs, then maybe one day, one time, before you, in case God gives you the health to move on, I'll get a drug, and God willing, I'll give you the drug and we will be able to cure you.
Across the country, in Kilifi, William Mwabaya also hopes that lack of money will not abort his dream of becoming a nurse. He received 40,000 shillings, roughly 2/5 of what he'd need to pay for tuition for the current year.
The 40,000 made a very big difference. It gave me a new beginning. It gave me hope that at the end of the day, I will qualify.
Like the Funzo Kenya scholarship scheme demonstrated, with adequate support, healthcare workers from poor backgrounds can make a huge difference in their communities.